Hello there. Welcome to Truth in Bikinis podcast with the talk queen, Nita Rare. So this is a podcast that tries to tell you the truth in a way that makes you enjoy hearing it. People do not always like the truth, not because truth is always bitter. But what if truth was sweet? What if truth didn't have to be bitter? What if truth was actually beautiful? We say the ugly truth all the time. So this is the Truth in Bikinis podcast. Here we undress reality and we give a voice to the silence. So just before we get to start, I need you to do something for me because I know you're absolutely going to enjoy this. So I don't have to say if you like, because I know you like it already. So like this video, subscribe to our channel, definitely share, invite your friends, and keep your ears to the ground for the very next episode we have got coming for you. I'm going to invite or introduce my guest for today. Wait till you see her. She's absolutely stunning. It's nobody else but Effie.
Hi, Nita. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Look how she took initiative and asked me, how are you? I'm always doing the questioning. I'm well, thank you, Effie. It's good to see you. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Oh, how was your day been?
It was very fine, though, with that day. But
you didn't dull your shine.
No, at all.
Has anybody told you look absolutely glorious today?
Oh, really?
Yeah, you do.
You're the first.
You're absolutely welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Yeah.
So Effie, tell us about yourself.
Oh, my name is Eturabasi Arthur. I own a beauty care company. It's an African company. We manufacture and distribute beauty care products, skincare, lip care, hair care all over the world.
Wow.
Because we just started shipping out of the country.
Nice.
Yeah, and I found and I advocate for a Soul Sisters community, Soul Sisters African community. We come as women. We come together and we talk about our stories. We share experiences. We learn new things every day. So, yeah.
Wow. That's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank
well
you.
Done. Well done. So, I mean, you see, you're going to know that, you see, I'm a spoken word artist. I'm a poet. So today I'm going to show you my poetic license. Wait till you hear the topic of our discussion. I thought she was very fine, right? And you see that she's really beautiful. Like she's absolutely stunning. So our topic for today, unfair advantage, fine girl privilege. Ta-da! First of all, Effie, do you think you're a fine girl?
I'm a beautiful girl.
Oh, she corrected me straight on the spot. So she doesn't think she's a fine girl.
Yeah.
She knows she's a beautiful girl. You know why I asked that question?
Why?
Sometimes people tell you, oh, you're beautiful. And you're like, I know, thank you.
Yeah, I know.
And they feel like it's pride. Or people say you're beautiful. Even when you don't say, I know, you're like, oh, you're like, thank you. Not excited about it. Like,
I know you've heard this before. Yeah.
Why don't you sound excited? I mean, I just thought you're beautiful. Like, I know I'm beautiful. it's not news. I know.
Exactly.
It's me. I see myself in the mirror every day. I know I'm beautiful. So I had to ask you that question. So is there anything as fine girl privilege?
Oh, yeah, sure. There is something as fine girl privilege.
So tell us, what is fine girl privilege?
So fine girl privilege is an advantage that certain girls in the society get to enjoy because of certain physical features that they have. It could be the face.
I like how you put it.
Really?
I do.
It could be the face, physical body parts, just whatsoever that attracts any other person to them at first glance.
Wow. So there is such a thing as fine girl privilege.
Exactly.
And then she said that it refers to certain advantages that some girls in society get to have as a result of physical features. It could be a fine face. It could be the booty. It could be the physique you get. But it's basically physical features. So there's such a thing as advantages. So there's fine girl privilege.
It exists.
I like that we're even establishing that because this is not one of the regular topics you get to hear about.
No.
We don't talk about it
at all.
But people will hate on fine girls. Some people will hate on fine girls. Like, well, it's because you're fine. I beg come over here. You get. But we don't talk about it. So let's establish that first. That there's such a thing as
fine girl privilege. Yeah.
So have you experienced fine girl privilege in your life?
Yes,
you have
quite a number of times.
to tell us.
Quite a number of times. So, Well, like you said earlier, we talked about I could just walk on the road and then a car parks and they're like, can you hop in and all of that? Can I have your number and all of that? You walk into a place and all eyes are on you. People want to come closer, want to talk to you, want to introduce themselves and all of that. And it could also be in another setting where there's a crowd and you have to do something there. And someone just notices you from afar. They're like, oh, call that girl for me and all of that. And whatsoever is happening there, probably you wanted to process a document. It happens fast and all of that. And you're like out. Everyone is still standing there. So there's a lot of advantages that comes with being a fine girl.
Okay.
It does. And most times you cannot run away from it.
Yeah.
You can't. It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. It
you
is
can't.
Absolutely inevitable. I like that you get closure to it because
exactly.
It's not your fault that you're fine.
No,
It's not your fault that you're beautiful. It's not your fault that you have physical features that have got things going on for you.
Yeah, sure.
So you shouldn't. So now, do you feel bad for being?
Well,
a fine girl?
I do not at all. But I remember there was a time where I had to ask myself, is it really my fault? Is it a bad thing that I am this
what
fine?
Circumstances led you to having those kind of thoughts?
Okay, so let's say it was basically my business setting. You know, a young man would come to you and be like, oh, you're fine, you're this, you're that. I would want to do this. I would want to do that. I would want to take your business to another level and all of that.
That was another level.
And you're really excited for something big coming. And the next thing, he presents an offer. It could go as far as talking about sex offer with benefits. It could talk about relationship, even to marriage. I have been in a situation where it was a work environment. I saw this person as a prospective colleague in a workplace, and just about the time we went through all of this, finding out this, finding out that, bringing information together to put something out of it. And when it was time to sign a certain document, he said we had to sign a marital document.
Wow.
So I felt really bad. I was like, oh, if I wasn't fine, would you do this?
I'm sorry, did this person have the upper hand in the deal? Was it like doing you a favor? Like if you look at it,
it was doing both of us a favor.
Okay.
But then in this country, it's more like, oh, if you approach a young girl who is doing this, it feels like you're doing her a favor. But then looking at it,
so
both of you, exactly. So I didn't really blame him, but I felt really bad about it.
So the deal didn't go forward.
No.
Wow.
Did not.
Imagine that. So this is to say that as much as there's fine girl privilege and the advantages that come with being a fine girl, there are disadvantages that come with being a fine girl.
Lots of it.
For instance, there are times I just want to be left alone. There are days I wake up and if I had my way, I wouldn't go anywhere, but work calls, so I have to leave. And that's the day I really just want to be left alone. Everybody mind your business. It's not about how I look. Forget about the face and everything. I just want to just mind my business and go my way. But that's the day that the floodgates of attraction are opened onto you. Everybody wants to grope you or touch you or be like, fine girl, can I have your phone number? And it can be very inconveniencing. In fact, let's even talk about the part where people underestimate the hard work that goes into building the business. Because they're like, you're a fine girl. You probably slept your way here. Do you experience that?
Exactly. I have quite a lot of times. So I have been in the situation where people were like, I heard, oh, Effie, she did not get it easily. She got it because she's this, she's doing this, she's doing that. And it actually got to me at some point.
Like, let's
Should we be raw?
Yeah, let's be real. Let's be raw.
So I kind of heard something one time like that. Oh, Effie's sleeping around and then she's getting investment contract through that.
Okay.
It was pissing.
That's actually
because
hurtful.
this is me.
That's slander.
Do you get? This is me in my bed every night, sleeping alone, trying to brainstorm. Sometimes I get to sleep like 2 a.m., 4 a.m. I put in the hard work, but then people out there just say it like she's just a fine girl. She got it easy because she's fine.
Yeah.
She knew a lot of people before now, so it's so easy for her. And then it actually kind of rubs dirt on your hard
image,
work,
yeah.
whatsoever you've done. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's when you think about it, it's painful. It's
It
painful.
is.
I've had experiences where I have to explain my worth just because I have a fine smell, I have a fine face.
Whoa.
I have to explain to you that I am actually smart. There's a show I like a lot.
Yeah.
It's called this TV show. It's called Grey's Anatomy.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen Grey's Anatomy. So there's one of the actors. She's a doctor. It's a doctor show, and I love science. I love the conversations that are going on in that show. That's why I'm watching it. So she's a doctor. She's a qualified doctor. In fact, she's a surgeon.
Whoa.
And she's good at what she does.
Okay.
But she gets underestimated a lot of times because she has a beauty of a model. She's tall, has a figure, has a right physique, has a beautiful smile, has a fine face. So she always has to explain, I'm not a fine girl with a fine face. I am a doctor, a surgeon. I went through medical school to get here. I had sleepless nights. I studied. I worked hard. I cried too. I wrote examinations. I didn't sleep my way here. So there was a time she met this guy that she wanted to get married to. Why? I'll tell you why. He was the first person that saw her as a human being first, not just as a fine girl.
Yeah, sure.
A fine girl with a fine face and a fine body. He acknowledged that she was smart. You're a surgeon. I admire your work beyond the beauty. So as much as we celebrate people for being fine, for being beautiful, we also accept the fact that, there's fine girl privilege, the advantages of being fine. Yeah. But man, there are also disadvantages that come with it. People think that you got everything on a platter of
peasy
gold,
and all of
just
that.
because you're fine. But it doesn't always work that way. It doesn't always work that way. So I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that we should take advantage? Fine girl. Do you think you should take advantage of your fine girl privilege? You don't feel bad that you're fine.
Okay.
It's not your fault that you're fine. So, if you're in a situation where you need to use the fine girl privilege, not sexually now.
Okay.
Maybe you're in a place where the protocol is just a lot.
Okay.
And you need to get the work done.
Okay.
Is it okay to use your fine girl privilege?
Well, yes, it is. Because it's not going to start from me and it's not going to end from me. You understand? Because there are lots of millions, billions of women out there, fine women. So I'm not going to be the one to stop it. So
do you
I like
think it's supposed to be stopped? I don't think it's supposed to be stopped.
So I remember the other day I walked into the bank. There was a large queue. I walked in, I went to one counter. There was a woman there and all I needed to do was smile. And she attended to me. I was out of there before you know it. So I like it to an extent. I can't help it. I like it. Yeah. But when it comes to the sexual part of it, is where I draw the line. And that's where society has it like really bent on the whole thing. Oh, she's doing this with her body. There is no way she is this fine. And you understand?
Yeah. People even say
there is no way.
There's no way you're this fine and you don't have a man.
Yes, it happens.
Cannot be this
There
fine and
is
you don't
no
have a
way.
man.
Your DM. Your DM. I tell people my DM is dry like a desert. Dry like a desert, yeah, because I try to control these things, okay?
Yeah.
Not because of a certain thing that I have or I'm fine and all of that. I can allow anything to me. Nah. I don't. So a lot of those things happen and you just can't help but laugh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that there are certain societal beauty standards and gender expectations that have influenced this fine girl thing? Do you understand the question?
Yes.
Like there are certain beauty standards that
You have
if
to
you look
meet.
this way, yeah,
You
it's
have
going
to
to
meet.
influence being, because I mean there are people who I have an opinion. Everybody has an opinion
Okay.
about being fine, being beautiful.
Okay.
But there are people who do not fit certain societal standards of the fine girl, right?
Yeah.
But to me, they're beautiful. And
I
I'm not
totally understand. Yeah.
they're beautiful. Like they're really. For instance, you know, I like very dark skinned people. I have never wanted to be
really?
light skinned.
Whoa.
Yes. In fact, if I had my way, people bleach. Me, I feel I should be darker.
Whoa.
Yeah, I feel I should be darker. I love dark skinned people,
Amazing.
especially ladies.
Amazing.
I love to see that. I love it. It's not a fetish, but it's my
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
You
yeah.
understand?
I get that.
So, but do you think that there are certain societal beauty standards that have influenced this fine girl privilege thing?
Okay. I think for the society today, people have preferences.
Yeah.
So
True.
I think it's actually a war between thick and slim thick. And then if you have to be
Slim and what?
slim thick,
Nice.
not so slim. Okay.
So there's thick and there's slim thick.
The slim thick.
I have a lot of catching
The
up to
slim
do.
thick is like the women with the big ass and all of that.
I see.
So the BBL women.
Curvy in all the right places. Okay.
And then the whole chin up and all of that. So yes, there's a certain standard of beauty. We have that, and we have people who want to see thick women as the standard of beauty. And we talk about skin color as well.
Yeah.
We talk about people who are so obsessed about light skin
Lightening
women.
up, yeah.
And people who are so obsessed about dark skin. Although just a few are obsessed about dark skin.
Yeah, very few.
Like you said,
Very,
okay?
very few.
But then, yeah, you walk into a place, probably a group of ladies walk into a place. Everyone wants to know who that light-skinned girl is.
Yeah.
They want to get her number.
Have you experienced that before? I mean, you're not so light skinned. You're I would
Yeah,
say you're caramel, like
Yeah.
you get not so light skinned. Have you experienced that
sure.
before?
I have walked into a place with
Your
my
friends
friend
that were light skinned.
who had a lighter skin
Yeah.
than me. And then, okay, do you understand? I want to talk to your friend.
Yeah,
It happens.
You've ever heard the saying that like fair is attractive. Say black is beautiful, but fair is attractive. But I feel like it's insulting. I don't know. Let's not go there.
Yeah, I understand. So it takes a lot of work for a person with a dark skin to be out
You have to do
there.
twice as much.
Exactly. You have to put in so much effort and all of that. Yeah.
So there are certain societal beauty expectations and even gender expectations. You're right.
Exactly.
Because people expect a woman to look a kind of way.
Yeah.
And then they expect beauty to have a kind of standard.
Exactly.
So beauty should be tall, should be light-skinned, should have her chin game should be up. Her eyes should always be bright, high cheekbones, curving in all the right places,
Exactly.
and all of that. And
Exactly.
so these have also influenced the.
And then there was one of these posts I saw on your Facebook where you talked about you were not really comfortable with how men addressed women, beautiful women, as beauty with brains.
Beauty and brains, yeah.
Beauty with brains, because they've come to an understanding that if you're beautiful, you have nothing upstairs.
Yeah,
Do you understand?
and I think it's not us. I think it's them, because the
Yeah.
first thing why is it that the only you can look at a whole human being and summarize her in one word, beautiful.
Beautiful.
And you don't, if it's just that you're just calling her that,
Do you
you're
get-
making a summary. You don't even want to know beyond
what she
you have
has,
seen. Yeah.
her intellectual property,
Thank you.
they do
Thank
not
you.
care.
Now you see
So
why I
it now
heard that
comes
word.
to a point where, as a fine girl, they now realize that, oh, you're doing this, and they're shocked.
Thank you. I get that a lot.
Oh wow,
I get that a lot.
you're smart.
I
You're
get
this.
that a lot. Somebody
Do you
came
get-
to our office, street manager's office. You know what? The guy walked in and he was like, I'm sorry, I need to laugh first because I remember and it's funny. He walked in and then he saw me and then he said, "Why are you doing this?" I'm like, "What do
Whoa.
you mean?" He said, "You're fine." I'm like, "Jesus."
Yeah.
Are you saying that this work is for people that are not physically appealing. So social service and social work
Exactly.
is for people who do not really have
I hear that a lot.
Wow.
You're so beautiful
See, you're
to
so
work.
beautiful.
You're so beautiful for this. You're
I'm
so,
like, that's the first. I'm not joking. That's the first thing they say. You're beautiful. I'm like,
yes.
is there a criteria for this one that I don't know about?
Problem? Is there a problem?
So it's a thing. It's really a
Okay.
thing. And the phrase beauty with brains, I know that, intentions have to have a seat at the table. They don't always need to be condescending.
It's not supposed to be a big deal.
It's not supposed to be a big deal, but,
it's
but
not.
everything is contextual. We got here. It's like saying a man that has money. We have, as a society, we have pegged men.
Yeah.
Men must have money, otherwise they're not man enough. As a woman, the woman must be beautiful, otherwise she's not a woman enough. She's not woman enough. Do you understand? So these standards are the things that create the problems that we have.
It does.
That create, because so what happens when a woman works so hard? Like, Effie, you work so hard.
Yeah.
I see the way you push your brand.
Girl.
I see the way you push your brand. The other day I saw your Effie, is it Intimate Collection?
Oh yeah, sure.
I saw it was it Rwanda or where?
Yeah,
That was
Kigali.
Kigali.
Yeah,
I saw it. I was like, oh my God, she's doing amazing. She's
get-
doing absolutely amazing. And somebody will look beyond all of that. And the only thing they can see about it, like, a fine girl, low.
She's a
So that day
fine
somebody
girl.
saw me and he made a comment in our language and was like, this one, they've not even plugged this one yet.
Wow.
Can you imagine how that feels to hear?
Wow.
Like this one is still, they've not plugged this one yet.
Whoa.
In Ibibu. I don't want to say it. In Ibibu. They've not plugged this one yet. So
Whoa.
now you have to, and for people like us, we have to be very loud about our accomplishments.
Yes, exactly.
Because
You don't
otherwise
need to
your
keep
life will get
quiet
look
about
at Marilyn
it.
Monroe, for instance.
Okay.
I love reading the history of popular, renowned women in history.
Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe was beautiful. She was beautiful, but she was a great actress too. She was a great singer too. Cleopatra was beautiful. But do you know what historians have made her to be? A seductress. Cleopatra was the last and only female emperor of the Egyptian dynasty.
Whoa.
She was powerful. She had the Roman Empire at her beck and call. In fact, at some point, she almost changed Roman history because she had heirs for a Roman, and Antony was next in line to succeed the emperor at some point. And she had an heir for him. She had another heir, two heirs with the first one was Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
Julius Caesar, a whole Caesar. And then there was Mark Antony. She was also a brilliant war strategist. She had like the most brilliant strategies on the field on the battlefield of war. She had fleets at her command, both on land, on water. She had the navals to her, at her attention, at her beck and call. She was powerful. And guess what? Egypt was the most prosperous during her reign. They multiplied in agriculture, in gold, in wealth. In fact, her tomb was rich because the Egyptians believed that you spend your life preparing for your death so you can transition into the afterlife. So they prepare all their wealth. If you go to the tombs of the mummies, they have a lot of wealth and gold because they believe that in the afterlife, their glory continues. They don't really die. They believe that like death is a transition into another life. So she was rich. She was all of this, but we remember Cleopatra as a beautiful seductress. Nobody talks about the fact that she was an emperor.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about the facts, that she was a pharaoh rather, because they didn't call them emperors. Nobody talked about the fact that Cleopatra was the only female pharaoh and the last pharaoh of Egypt, of the Ptolemy dynasty. Nobody talks about the fact that she was a war general. She won many wars. She also fought. She was a mother too. She was a queen. And the way it was, she was both like queen and king.
Yeah.
We don't hear about that. We only hear that Cleopatra was a beautiful seductress. So women that are beautiful often have to talk a lot,
Louder.
be very vocal about your achievement. Otherwise, they will summarize you with your beauty. They will say, that one is fine girl, finish.
Yeah, true.
And it's a sad thing.
Sure.
It's a very sad thing. Okay, so, but to balance all of this out, like we've talked about the advantages. I mean, the advantages that come with being a fine girl privilege. We also said that there are also disadvantages that come with it. So now to the main question, because our topic is unfair advantage. We agree that it's unfair.
Yeah, sure.
But it's not our fault. Do you understand? Unfair advantage, fine girl privilege. Should it be used or not? And you've said that it's okay to be used. And I totally agree to that. Somebody else may have a dissenting point of view or opinion, and that's okay. But I do think that if God gives you, it's like God giving me a singing voice. I am not going to bury my voice because you cannot sing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure.
I can sing.
Sure.
You better believe I'm going to sing, baby. I'm going to sing. You understand? So it also plays out in scenarios like there are particular jobs that look at your face. And as much as we like want to say that's not fair, but it is what it is. And it's an added advantage when you are beauty, exactly, the company, you're beautiful, you're smart, you know your onions, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like banking jobs, for instance. Have you ever seen an ugly banker?
No.
I didn't mean to say ugly. I would like, have you ever seen a banker that is not physically appealing to the eyes? Have you?
Not at all.
I haven't.
Not at all.
I haven't. I have never seen a banker that is not.
You walk into the banking hall and then from the counter, you're seeing the most beautiful women ever. Yeah. Just anywhere.
Exactly. It's like they even pay attention to their skincare routine, because
they do.
You're into skincare. But seriously, bankers, their skincare game is something else. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
The way they talk.
Yeah, the way they talk, the way
they always
look,
want to go
the
back.
texture of their skin, even the way their physique is built. So it means that fine girl privilege applies even in your job description. Marketers have to be appealing because it's like food. I have to like the food first, right? Before I want to eat it. If the food is delicious, smells amazing, but looks like shit, I'm not going to eat it. I'm not going to eat it because it's not looking appealing to me. So now I want to ask you, Effie. Now, can individuals with fine girl privilege, can we use these as, an advantage to uplift others and to challenge the status quo? Do you understand the question?
Oh, yes. Like, in the aspect where I talked about bringing your intellectual property into full display.
Yeah.
Let them see that there is more to you as a fine girl. Okay. From the way you talk, from the things you do, the attention you command, it shouldn't just be any kind of attention.
Definitely. Definitely.
Should be some kind of attention, some respect that not everyone has access to you because of your confidence, everything, your courage.
I have to give that to you. You're very classy.
Your courage should be everything. You understand?
Don't pretend you didn't hear what I said. You're very classy. Do not pretend you did not hear what I said. I said you're classy. I have to give that to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Please go ahead.
So everything should just define that beauty, not just the physical. Let people know that fine girl privilege shouldn't just be about the physical thing.
Yeah.
It should be about the whole courage of that lady. Yeah. Okay. And to everyone out there, everyone who doesn't feel like they're not physically attractive and all of that. Well, what can I say? I don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah,
we're going to come to that, actually. We're going to come to that. But I like that you've talked about the fact that we can use, fine girl privilege as an advantage too. Yeah. Because there are places you enter and they wouldn't otherwise give you audience if you were not so physically appealing. And because it's like for Christians, there's a story of Esther. Fine girl privilege.
Oh yeah, fine girl privilege.
Story of Esther. So the king would give you his ear when he looks at you like, oh, this girl is fine. This babe is fine. So there are people whose ears your beauty will catch. And when your beauty catches their ear, make sure that what is coming out from your mouth and your head can keep the ear that they have given to you. So by the time they give you their ear and you open your mouth,
they know you're not empty of space.
That's what Esther did. She used her beauty and then she used her voice to speak up for the oppressed of her people.
Exactly.
And she was able to save them.
Exactly.
So yes, as a fine girl, you can use your beauty
and in today's society,
advantageously.
we are reminded to use our fine girl privilege to draw men to Christ.
Yeah, we get that a lot.
Exactly.
We get that a lot. So the point is, you can use your fine girl privilege to uplift others too.
Sure.
In fact, let me tell you something. In addition to this, I know I'm fine, right? But there are days where I see somebody who is not having the best of days, and there's just this. I mean, I don't want to be modest about it. It is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But there's just this thing about a fine girl walking up to you and saying, "Are you okay? Are you fine?" It lifts up the person's mood. It uplifts the person's spirits.
Yeah, sure.
So we can use our beauty to change the status quo and to also uplift others.
Yeah.
And lastly, I would like to talk about how we can work towards a more inclusive and equitable society where everyone has equal opportunities,
Exactly.
whether they're fine or they're not.
Okay,
they're not fine.
before we come to that, I would like to chip in something.
Okay.
So countless times I've been in situations where people come to me and they're like, "Oh, Effie, you're so beautiful, yet you're humble. You're so kind." Because people expect fine
to be
girls to be rude, toxic,
arrogant,
mannerless, and all of that on couth.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't always seem that way.
It shouldn't be that way.
It doesn't
actually.
always seem that way. Not because anyone is fine. They would actually, it would get into their head.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could always channel that into showing people that you could be physically attractive, but you could know where to draw the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can be kind.
Stay
you can be beautiful
humble,
and kind and
be
everything.
kind,
This
show
is
love.
I was saying this morning that respect is not gender based.
At all.
It's not gender based at all.
It
So
isn't.
being kind and being humane should not also be beauty based.
Beauty best, yeah.
Beauty based. Just be kind because you're supposed to be kind.
Yeah.
So now how can we work towards a more equitable society for
Okay,
people
like-
that do
Okay.
not
So, like we said before, this is here to stay. Fine girl privilege.
yeah.
And I feel society should give fair hearing to just every woman out there. I do not want to say whether beautiful or not. Every
Yeah.
woman is beautiful in her own way.
Yeah, truly.
Society only makes it look like, oh, because of certain physical features,
Yeah.
this one is more beautiful than this one.
Yeah.
And it's very, and
And some of these standards are unrealistic actually. You look at it.
yeah,
Very
unrealistic. And most times I even get to hear, before we come to the men thing, most times I get to hear, oh, girls that are not fine, they are the good ones in relationships. They're the ones who want to keep their man, but the fine girls are...
They do anyhow
They
because,
do anyhow because
if you don't like
they know
me,
they
we
are
move.
there. Do you understand? Because they know they have it. So it's crazy. So every woman out there should be given fair opportunity
Yeah.
to be heard the same way as the fine girls.
Yeah.
Okay. And a lot of women out there have so much in stock to show
Yeah.
intellectually and otherwise. So yes, I just feel everyone should just have fair hearing.
Well, that is you being normative. We know that's not how it's going to play.
It's not gonna
out,
happen at the end of the
But I
day.
mean, the fine girls are just, we're saying
Yeah.
that everybody deserves a chance to be
They
heard.
do,
I know
they
that
do.
out there's not an equal or level playing field, but from our different spheres of influence,
Yeah,
we can
sure.
say when you see somebody who is being downplayed because they do not have what you seem to have, you can call the person who is doing that order and say, no, this person actually has something to offer. Listen to her.
Exactly. Listen
Give
to
her a
her.
chance. Give her a chance. And that is how you can use your beauty to change the world.
Yeah.
Oh my
happens.
goodness. This was such an inspiring, amazing, intriguing, and splendid session. I enjoyed myself. Did you
Definitely.
enjoy yourself?
I did.
I hope you did, because
Yeah, I
I did. I did. Any last words in closing?
Well, to every woman out there, you're beautiful.
Thank you.
You have so much command in you. Okay. You have so much that is inside of you. Okay. Your physical beauty does not matter. Okay. All what matters is your courage inside. Show it to the world. Show it to just whatever platform you find yourself in. And I celebrate you. You're
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. To buttress that point, there are women in history who society did not think were beautiful. Yeah. The women who the society did not think were beautiful. But these women ended up changing the course of history. And if you and history is not complete without these women. Women like Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was not so physically, she didn't fit into the society's
standard of beauty.
Because I'm not going to say she was not beautiful. She was beautiful, but what happened was she did not fit into the society's standards of beauty. But Harriet Tubman freed over 100 slaves.
Wow.
She paved the way for freedom. She said I could have freed 1,000 more had it been they even knew they were slaves. She was such a powerful woman. So imagine living to the end of your life and not making any impact because you feel you're not beautiful. That would definitely suck. So this is us saying, shine your light. You're beautiful. Own it. Thank you so much. This is the Truth in Bikinis podcast. Remember to share, to like, subscribe, and keep your ears open for the next episode. See you. Bye.
Bye.